Hello everyone, I am the Lore Explorer, and this is the Outer Wilds. A common question I see is how did the Hearthians survive the ghost matter explosion? So today I'll answer the question of how the Hearthians avoided these gravestones, and try to answer another question along the way. See, 280,000 years ago, the Hearthians were a semi-aquatic species, most likely swimming in pools, but already evolved enough to breathe air rather than get the oxygen through the water. Though I will show how the Hearthians survived the explosion, the Hearthians faced another threat. An interstellar species touched down in their solar system. The Nomai were on a mission. They were in need of raw materials for a large project. They surveyed Timber Hearth in search for ore. The geothermal activity of Timber Hearth must have created some really strong minerals and elements. They set up mining sites and begun excavation. One of the Nomais, with a keen eye, spotted a sort of tadpole-like species with 4 eyes. As soon as they noticed this, the Nomai immediately ceased mining in Site 2A. We can head to what we know is their mining site, and what I think is probably Site 2B, to get an idea of the effect would have been on the Hearthian habitat. All through the site, we see massive holes dug deep into the planet, more than I can count. This would have most likely devastated the Hearthians in their very early state. The Nomai sense of morals and justice is the first reason the Hearthians survived. But back to the main question. How the heck did the Hearthians survive the ghost matter explosion? Well, the answer to that lies at Giant's Deep, another place we see life has found a way to survive. If we head to Gabbros Island, we can find some ghost matter inside a tunnel through the mountains. Waiting by the entrance, we can witness a crazy sight. The entire island gets sent to space. As it comes crashing back down, the island plummets into the water, temporarily submerging the entire island and completely filling the tunnel. Although there is ghost matter right at the entrance, we are able to make it halfway through the tunnel. As soon as the island emerges from the water, the ghost matter immediately kills us. We were safe when we were under the water. That's the key. The Hearthians survived because they were an aquatic species. And honestly, I think that's why we found the ghost matter inside of a comet mostly comprised of ice. To me, it seems some species may have meant for it to enter the sun directly. Maybe some creative, intelligent species created ghost matter to power their civilizations. And when they seen what happens when things go wrong, they encased it in ice and tried to fling it directly into the sun. That way, when it melts and tries to explode, all of the water from the melting ice would encase it and maybe try to contain that explosion a bit. But that is just a guess. Anyway, the Hearthians survived a few threats, but the ghost matter was definitely because they were an aquatic species and underwater at the time. And I think the whole universe is probably grateful for that. If anybody can think of any other common questions like this, let me know in the comments. For now, this is a Lore Explorer going to try to land a Nomai shuttle on the grav cannon.